A comedy store birthday. Welcome to the comedy store birthday.
Welcome to the Comedy Store 20th birthday party from the world's famous Comedy Store on Sunset Strip in Hollywood, California. So sit back and let's party.
Welcome to the comedy store birthday.
With performances by Jeff Altman, Louis Anderson, Jim Carrey, Judy Gold,
a whole lot of stuff.
Tamayo Suki,
Just pain.
Richard Pryor,
He's back on the scene.
Bob Saget,
With Bob Saget.
Pauly Shore,
Shore, big movie star now.
Tim Thomerson,
Time I'm still on his way. Down, down, down.
Lois Brownfield,
I lost Brownfield in the long
Charles
time.
Fletcher, Arsenio Hall, August Hamilton, David Letterman, Herbie Levison, Paul Mooney, Taylor Negron, Craig T. Nelson,
Bringing down
Paul Rodriguez, Gary Sandling, Damon Wayans,
Come on, homie.
Robin Williams,
A funny man.
Please welcome the one and only Pauly Shore.
All right, man. Hello. How you guys doing? Okay. So I was born here in Hollywood, California my whole life. Born and raised. You guys from here? A lot of people from here? Yeah? Yeah. Come from a wealthy divorced family? Yeah, my mom's wealthy, my dad's divorced. I'm glad, though, like, my mom never remarried, though. I don't have any stepdads hanging around the house. You know, guys, I think they're my real dad, right? Let's go to the park, son. I'm like, yeah, okay, Mark. Well, why don't you call me Dad? 'Cause you're not, man. You're some guy that sits around my mom's pool and sponges off her. You know, kind of like a bigger version of me. So I did some group therapy recently. You ever do that? Honesty? You guys know, not into that kind of thing? Okay, cool. Yeah, it was cool. This guy comes up to me the first day. He goes, I'm experiencing you being judgmental, not caring for the others, and being a taker. I'm like, God, man, bullseye. So high school was pretty fun. Everyone went to high school. You know my worst subject in high school was Spanish. Yeah, it was hard, man. It was hard, right? The teacher, what did she say? She goes, you never know, you might go to Spain. Yeah, well, I might not, okay? I've been to Taco Bell, I can get by, okay? Hola, mi amigo, una burrito supreme, por favor, quesadilla. And some cinnamon chips. So, I've been traveling around, seeing the world a lot. You guys like to travel and stuff. I always fly. When I fly, though, I always fly first class, though, which is cool, right? Not the whole way, but just so they kick me out. You know? And then I get kicked out, and I walk down the aisle, and everyone's got the same look on their face, like, don't sit by me. Please don't sit by me. And I'm like, where's my seat? Where's my seat? Okay. And they do that when I try and get on elevators. You ever do that? Like I go, wait, hold the elevator. And like, quick, here he comes. Shut it. Okay, wait a minute. I want to be here too, you know.
And that's where everybody wanted to be. It was Carnegie Hall for comedy. The Comedy Store was #1.
Once you got into the Comedy Store, you were in the big leagues, you know?
I have a theory that the Comedy Store is the center of the universe.
Actually, the longer I was there, the more positive understanding I had that it was just a rat-infested hellhole.
So my first night at the Comedy Store, first time ever on stage in my life, I was a writer prior to ever getting up on stage and performing, so I was scared to death and had no stand-up experience at all, and I get up at the Comedy Store in 1973. I came off stage, and Mitzi said, you're a writer.
I remember that was 79. I performed after Jimmy Walker and did very badly. It was a nice evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Walker. Now, please welcome Robin Williams. It's that lovely kind of Death Valley experience, you know.
When I look back, I didn't have really a good act. I remember that night, because you know, after you do your set, you come over and you are just humble pie. It's, you know, like, Oliver, please, I want some more.
I was in a grocery store, and the headline was how to lose weight without diet or exercise. And I just said to myself, geez, that pretty much leaves disease.
How many of you read the new National Enquirer that came out on Friday? Pretty exciting. The big headlines in the Enquirer this week. You'll all be getting it. I get mine at home. How to lose weight without diet or exercise. Pretty much leaves disease, doesn't it?
For some reason, that sort of crude fashioning of a setup and a punchline got a pretty good laugh.
My jokes were stuff like we were so poor, my father drove a 1974 big wheel, you know. That was a bad act.
And in 78, Mitzi saw me on an amateur night in 78, which was 5 years later, and I came off and I did great, and she said, you're a writer. Come back another time.
When I first came to the Comedy Store, Mitzi said, go work elsewhere. And she was always fair. I used to think it was just me or just a couple guys she didn't like. But she told her son, Pauly Shore, you know, go elsewhere until you're ready, then come back here. And that's what the Comedy Store was.
And I just want to say happy anniversary to my mom, who started this place. When I was just a little boy, she always says she knew I was gonna do stand-up comedy. But at first she didn't want me to do it, but now I'm here and I'm doing it, right? Okay, here we go. Okay, come to the stage right now is actually a female comedian, and she came out here about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. She's the only Japanese comic ever, and she's all the way from Osaka, Japan, and she's been here, and she's very talented, and she's one of my mom's favorite picks. Keep it going, all the way from Osaka, Japan, Tamayo Otsukis.
I didn't say anything. I did my impression of you American people doing Japanese. Please don't do that. Really confusing. Sometimes you make sense. Like Pauly said, I am from Osaka, Japan. I came to America because I'm lazy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Came to America to get away from Japanese businessmen. Now they are here. When I came to America first time, I had only $100. But I didn't become homeless. I just found some nice, horny old man. And I moved in with him. He took care of me, and one night he asked me a serious question. He said, if I lost my job, I can't buy you anything. Do you still love me? I said, of course I still love you. And miss you too. Another thing I realized about American men, some American men are very sexually frustrated and insecure. Yes, they are. Yes, so that's why right after sex, they all ask the same question. They said, how was I? So I had to say, oh, you're the best. Like a good Japanese girl. I wish they ask us questions that we can be really honest to be with, to answer right after sex. Like, what time is it now? But thank you very much. You're wonderful. Thank you, Miss.
As a woman, you know, the belly room was specifically put up there for us because there wasn't any place for us to go. Nobody would let us play.
I'm not a transvestite. I want to get that out of the way now because a lot of people do think I'm a transvestite. And yesterday, I went to the gym, walked into the ladies' locker room. This naked woman hides behind her locker, right? Then she looks at me. She goes, oh, sorry, I thought you were a man.
A lot of women that I know feel like that's specifically for them. You know, that if you can get to the belly room, then you might have a shot.
I think Jews have a thing they can tell other Jews when they see them. Don't you think so? It's a thing that we Jew can look at another Jew and tell they're Jew. It's a phenomenon. It's just like black people. Black people can pick other black people out of crowds. Jewish people can do the same thing. It's an ethnic thing. Actually, the reason I do have the curl, people always ask me, I live in a fantasy world. I love the 60s. I've always had this big fantasy. If I had my own TV show in the 60s, it would open up with a big theme song. It's Judy Show! And then a big spit curl would come down, and I come sliding down the spit curl, hanging on the end, waving. It's Judy Show!
And it's the truth. It's the truth. There is no other space like it anywhere, you know. And I'm really grateful.
I find when I wear gloves, suddenly, dramatically, my hands go up in the air. I'm riding in a parade. It's the Jackie Kennedy syndrome. Hi, let me take you on a little tour of the White House. There's the Oval Office. There's where President Lincoln slept. There's my husband Jack with a martini and Marilyn Monroe. Hi, darling, it's so good to see you.
Love me, love me. Like Lenny Bruce said, love me, you like me? Oh, good. All these anonymous people like me, but not too close. Because I can make you laugh, but if you get too close, I'll hurt you. I'll make fun of your tie.
When you're bombing, you're not getting any laughs except in a corner, in the far right corner, as I recall, of the Comedy Store. You will hear this little ha ha, and then you know it's another comic laughing.
I've been on stage and heard Richard and Damon and Eddie in the back, and everybody has a distinctive laugh. You know their laugh, you know? I mean, Damon, when you're bombing, this is what you hear. Ah! You know? And you know it's Damon back there laughing at you bombing.
You know, you look out there and it's just pitch black, and you can just talk, and the people laughing is basically just, I don't know, confirmation that what you're thinking is funny. You know, and I've gotten thrown out of this a couple of times because what I was thinking wasn't that funny.
People are throwing out lines that are so great, and they're missing. You could hear like tumbleweed would pass through. Or Altman would go on and do a different character. Or Sam in the early days when he'd just come on and scream and talk about things. And people were just like, that's it, I am leaving. I'm just out of here. That's enough. Thank you. I am happily married young man, and the fact that I don't rock people, it's none of your business.
I remember that a guy on roller skates got up before I did one night, like at 1:30 in the morning, and that's when I knew this was just going to be a long, painful route.
Well, I've been at this 15 years, and things still haven't started to pick up.
Yeah. Let's give wonderful welcome for Mr. Bob Saget.
Thank you. Thank you very much. How you doing? Whoa. Hi, everybody. I have wonderful news, and it gets cheap free applause. We're having our third child, which is...
kid. We don't know if it's a boy or girl, but we're going to raise it as a boy because we had 2 girls already. That little Pinocchio complex. But it is so exciting. We don't know. There's all different methods you can use to find out if it's a boy. I did what I'm supposed to do to try to have the boy. Nobody knows, right? But I sat on a dim sum warmer for like an hour and a half. And then another thing I did, we rode in those teacups at Disneyland and we did the nasty, because it's like a centrifuge. And then I met a guy in a restaurant, in a coffee shop, who said, what you do if you want to have a boy is you put her over a table and make sure you're finished first. And I said, so why do I have 2 girls? That's what I wanted to know, because... No, my daughters are the coolest. I have a 5-and-a-half-year-old who just graduated preschool, so we're putting her out in the world, get her a job. Darn it, it's time to get on her own. And my 2-year-old, she's in big girl underpants, and so is my father. We have a problem. But she is the cutest. She's the most adorable person. She was. I was reading her a story to bed. She is so sweet, and so is the other one, in case she's watching. I love you both so much. And my wife and my mother and that guy. But the thing was, this 2-and-a-half-year-old girl, I'm laying next to her in bed, and she goes, Daddy, will you stay with me? I said, no, I got to go read to your sister. She said, but I like you so much. I said, you're totally manipulative. You don't know what that means, but you kind of get the vibe. I said, I really have to go. She said, but Daddy, you're so cute. And I said, no, I'm sorry, I have to go read to your sister. I swear. She went, but you're my darling. And I stayed till the next day. I slept in her room. I had lunch in her room. Well, you know what? I actually have to get home to a pregnant woman, not my wife. I've been dating a lot of pregnant women because they're really hot. And no, I'm in hormonal hell, which is why I loved working here for so many years. I really did love working here. Thank you, Mitzi. Thanks for everything, and thank you all for letting me fool around a little bit. Thanks.
Please welcome Jeff Altman.
I am a big, black, bloated doggy. Boris Becker has a big black booger in his nose. Boris Becker has a big black... That's enough, thank you very much.
Well, we're all back here 20 years.
I don't know.
Please welcome Jeff Altman.
I am a big, black, bloated doggy. Boris Becker has a big black booger in his nose. Boris Becker has a big black... That's enough, thank you very much.
Well, we're all back here 20 years, man. 20 years. I'm getting too old to do this kind of stuff. Little things start to tip you off. You wake up one morning, you're 35 years old, it's like, oh my God, I'm mortal. Little things start to happen. Hair from the top of your head begins to disappear, begins to reappear in your ears. Elevator music begins to sound okay.
This is pitching.
You're taking a shower and you forget what body part you're on.
Wash my butt.
You find yourself out in your backyard, you're wearing sandals, black socks, shorts, and you're looking for weeds. Women will do things guys will never do. Women will go over to each other's homes, try on each other's clothing. You're never going to see a guy try this. Ed? I sure have been admiring them loafers of yours. Even the little minutiae, the little things we do. Little bathroom habits, the way we shave, shower, shampoo, different. Even the way we take and dispense toilet paper. Different. Man takes toilet paper very definitive. It's like...
Hee-hi, I'm done, Daddy. Me-hi, and oh-hi.
Woman takes toilet paper very creative. It's like... their hand here looks like a damn beehive. You could wash and wax a limo with this thing. 2 trees in Oregon I gotta fall down to make this thing happen. You guys have been wonderful. It's been great being here 20 years. Thank you.
Wouldn't that be a great comic funeral? If they cremate you and make you snort your ashes. And even Mitzi's going, there's an idea.
I'm funny for days. 3 rooms in one store. It was like one of those Necco wafers, those little bars with all the little things. There's the main room, the individual room, the pink room, the blue room, the black room. It was a crazy place.
After I'd been in California 1 week, you're moving that camera around, aren't you? You're doing that wacky 1990s kind of film crap. Yeah.
Comedy Store has a history for everybody. We've had them all come through here. I think Lassie came through and did a couple of jokes.
The first couple of times I performed in the main room, I was really scared. I thought it was a big deal. I really thought it was a big deal to perform there. And then I bombed my ass off a few times, and then I got really tough. And the guys were really good to me. They treated me like a guy. Yeah, you're pretty funny for a chick. Hit me on the back. And then I went from being a chick to being, I don't know what I am now.
Comedian after comedian after comedian was a thing that I didn't think would ever work at all. I mean, comedy, and yet, you know.
Well, that was one of the things. I remember the first thing. So you'll have some comedy, then you need the piano player sing a song or two, then you can have something else, and then you come back to some of the comedy. You can't have comedy and comedy. That was a law.
In the past year, the Comedy Store lost a very dear family member, a great comedian named Ollie Joe Prater. He used to say he was born on the 25th, 26th, and 27th of July. He said there were stretch marks on his dad. He said he only drank tall boys because 12 ounces ain't worth opening. We used to say, look, Ollie, you'd live a lot longer if you didn't drink so much. He said, nah, it just seemed longer.
You had it easy. I had a year of just driving up from San Diego, just hitting Monday nights.
Easy.
I had
Easy, man.
I
know. That's real tough.
You can hear Mitzi in the back of the room say, give him the light, get him off.
No, get a rabbit. Get some puppets. Dance.
She makes fun of my voice. She talks in a nasal kind of voice, and then before I knew it, she was starting to get her hair done like me, too. So she's copied mostly. She's ripped me off.
People think you make like $1 million a day. You know, they think you make all kind of money. Like, they always walk up to you, ask you about money. Had a cat outside the club walk up and he said, Jim, I only got $3 to my name. What should I do? I said, change your name.
Down here at the beach, they're trying to get into this beach living. It just doesn't work out. Every time I lay down, people would push me back into the water.
Mr. Louis Anderson.
Much nicer than the days of, who the hell is this guy? He's big, isn't he? Well, it's nice to be here. I just got back from Las Vegas. It was 112 there. We were playing golf in 112. The good thing is it's the first time I shot under the temperature. So. You know, no matter where you stay on the road, when you try to take a nap when you get into a hotel, you can't close that curtain. Is it a cruel carpenter's joke? They leave that 1 inch. It's like that picture of Jesus where the eyes follow you back. And you know you can't sleep, so you get something at room service, right? Now listen, I have nothing against foreigners. I think all people deserve to be everywhere they want to be. But not on the phones at room service. You know, because you call up there after a long drive. Hello? Oh, man. Any chance of getting the club You have any pickles? Pickles? They're little green things. Look at that big refrigerator down there. You ever notice how room service people come into your room like they've been jumped before? Where would you like me to set this? Well, there's one flat surface, that table, and the other one's your head. Figure it out. And what is it with the maids? What do they come on at 3 in the morning? They have that maid's knock. If it's a steady knock, if you're sound asleep. You hear that, you wake up, you try to locate it by looking around. What is there, a woodpecker in here? And for some reason, you reach for the phone with a hand that's numb from sleeping on it. I'll be right there! And it keeps up. Finally, you locate it. Finally, there she is. Oh, there's the maid. She's got a clipboard. What? Just checking. Checking what? See if you're in here. Here I am. When do you want your room clean? Now. Get your little butt in here. And quit making the sheets on the bed so damn tight I can't get in the thing. What, did they bring an air compressor in with them? You'll never get in there. You gotta crawl in head first and turn around in there. I'd join you for dinner, but I'm stuck in bed. Your feet are like this. You can't walk when you get out of bed, but you can pirouette. Could I get some extra shampoo? Extra shampoo? You mean the 1 ounce you have isn't enough? I'll tell you, the great thing is that when I first came here, I had a couple of goals when I came to Hollywood. One was to find all the drive-through places. One of them was to do The Tonight Show, which was important to me. The other one was to get my name on at the Comedy Store outside, you know, where they paint your name. And I did both of those things, and the Comedy Store has been wonderful to me. And so I'm happy to be here on their 20-year anniversary, and I'm happy that you're all here. I hope you had a good time. I love you, Missy. Thank you very much. Well, this next guy, we worked together in the original room where everybody works out the material. And he said to me one time, I was talking to him, he was probably the best impressionist there ever was. And you probably had never seen him do those things. Because one night he said, I think I want to do something different. I want to just do the stand-up and I want to go in a different direction. Which took a lot of guts because there were a lot of nights of struggling. But he did it. He became a big success and he's a big favorite and I'm very proud of him and glad to know him as a friend. Please welcome Mr. Jim Carrey.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for him. Louis Anderson, come on! Louis Anderson, let's hear it. Louis Anderson, yeah. Louis Anderson, woo! Louis Anderson, all right. There he goes. Give it to him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really thrilled to be here because the Comedy Store is very special to me. You know, when I was a teenager, I used to watch people like Richard Pryor and Robin Williams on television and think, I can do that. But to actually come here and meet these people is amazing, you know? I met David Letterman here, you know, for the first time. He walked in the back of the main room here. I was so excited, I just jumped up out of my seat, ran up to him. I said, David Letterman, it's a pleasure to meet you. And I'll never forget what he said to me. Apparently, I had gotten up too fast, and the blood rushed out of my head. That's all I heard before I blacked out. But I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. And that's what this place is about. The party is here and now. Yeah. Well, okay, I'm the only one that's partying, but it's here and now, ladies and gentlemen. So I'd like to start my presentation off tonight with a little bit of a party favor. All I need is a glass of highly toxic liquid. LA tap water will be fine. It's a quick impression. You can do this at your parties when you're entertaining. I call it the Angry Saint Bernard. Thank you very much. Yeah. I'm quite an entertainer. I'd like to do some observational humor for you now. I hope you can identify with it. Hey, don't you hate when you're in bed with 3 women and the least attractive one whispers, "Save it for me"? Man, that's a drag. Well, that's what my life's like. Crazy things happen to me. One time, while I was having an out-of-the-body experience, my body went to Vegas with all my credit cards. Had some kind of fling with a $500 a night hooker. But do you think I could explain that to my wife? No! Women see what they want to see. And they love to have sex now, you know, women. I'm sick to death of it. And I think I speak for the rest of the guys here tonight when I say, hey, ladies, can't we ever just hug? Is that the only way you can communicate? You ever want to freak a woman out? Just do that. Just guys, just turn down sex once. You know? They will freak out, man, because they don't expect guys to turn down sex. Because guys are like dogs, waiting to be let out of a car. My wife bought me a Ouija board for Christmas. That's a weird gift to give your husband, isn't it? Here, honey, now you can talk to all the people in hell. All the demons. You know. And not even the Ouija board could have predicted that I'd grow up someday and be part of this. The anniversary show of the Comedy Store. Only Mitzi could.
Okay, I want to go way back now.
Please welcome Tim Thomerson. Come on!
James Carey, ladies and gentlemen. Please, a big hand for James Carey. But a hand for the jacket, ladies and gentlemen, for James Carey. Hand for the jacket.
They've asked me to do this thing that I did 20 years ago. It's called Stagecoach, the entire film. So here we go.
Let's just Stagecoach the entire film.
Horses, you understand?
My name is Leonard. Ignorant Leonard. The old boy sitting next to me, his name's Shotgun. He don't say a whole lot. He just sits there and reads. What's that you reading there, Shotgun? I don't know. I can't see a damn thing. Right over there, there's 9 main Indians. There's the Osages, the Oscaleros, the Utes, the Mutes, the Paiutes, the Babosos, the Pendejos. There's some Chingasos, and some... And they's all going like this. Hey, Shotgun. What you mean? Hey, Rito, you got any weapons back there? Sam Peckinpah. Ask not. Thank you.
One night I remember Richard went on, and Eddie Murphy went on, I went on, and Sam went on. That's a pretty amazing evening, and pretty much an eclectic night, and a bombardment evening. Yeah, there's nights where Andy Kaufman was wrestling women. The night that a very, very large, muscular woman came in and knee dropped him. Those were nights that you tend not to forget.
He'd wrestle women on the stage. I didn't like that. I thought it because I was like, that's my temple, and I was just up there, jazzing and improvising, and now he's slamming broads around, This is not why I'm in show business. And I'd have a drink and then go home.
Sam Kinison, who passed away recently, I used to feed him hamburgers at the Comedy Store in Westwood when he was just a doorman. And he used to go on stage last. He would throw chairs at the audience. He'd be like, everybody out of my house. And hey, the 2 UCLA students would run, and I'd be packing up my stuff, and I'd feed him the nachos, and he would actually sleep on the stage there at the Comedy Store in Westwood.
And the crowd's laughing their ass off. What kind of jokes are these? Now, damn, this is not what he does on television. Who are you? Every joke just gets worse. I thought we had hit the bottom of the well with the guy's hairy ass. But every joke just gets worse. Who are you?
I watched Sam become the beast. That was frightening.
Plus, it was also a chance to play with the greats, to see people like Richard Lewis, Richard Pryor. I saw Letterman. You saw him starting. I just remember him doing that thing about Colonel Sanders has wings. No, what was it?
The last couple of years, Colonel Sanders has been selling ribs. Who wants to eat chicken ribs anyway? One of these days you'll be hearing, yes, the Colonel has beaks. We'll take some mashed potatoes and coleslaw and, how about a bucket of beets? Extra crispy if you got them, sure. And a bag of feathers for the kids. The first sort of big-time guy that I ran across was Freddie Prinze, who would come in. It was interesting because as you stayed at the Comedy Store, after a week or after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you thought, well, I guess by now I've seen all of the really good guys.
And then next week, somebody else would come in. And then the week after that, 2 more guys would come in, and you just think, well, who am I kidding? I should go back and hide under the house.
You're scared to follow him. You know, you quit, you cancel your spot. You know, hey, I don't want to go on. Hey, I'm catching a cold, man. You know, because just suck all the energy out the room. Sam used to do that. Dice used to do that. You know, Pryor does it. I mean, Robin Williams definitely does it. You know, Jim Carrey does it. And, you know, those are the comics.
I had to follow, actually, I think it was Robin Williams, Richard Pryor, and then me. And the ovation didn't build accordingly.
I can remember the first night that I had to follow Richard. It was hot, and people were hooting, the stress-bearing beams in the structure were starting to warp, and he had just killed. He had just devastated. And so then I had to get up there, and I had my little Cub Scout outfit on, or whatever the hell it was I was wearing. And not only did I just bomb, just die, just miserably, I couldn't get anybody to even acknowledge that there was a human being on stage. I mean, I might as well have been drapes.
The kiss of death is when you go up there and you got a spot, and Richard walks in and performs, and then you have to follow him. That's the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Walking in the Comedy Store, and they say, Richard wants to go on for a minute.
And now, for a very special surprise guest, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Pryor!
I haven't been up on the stage in a long time or anything, because this is strange. This is a new thing. Maybe some of you know about it. Maybe some of you have it. I don't know. It's called MS. Now, the doctors, they don't know what it is. And I don't know if you realize frustration, but you go up to the doctor and say, yeah, I got it, but what is it? Oh, well, it's with your nerves. You know, it's weird. It's like, God is wonderful, because God said, no, wait. I ain't going to kill you. I ain't going to let you. No, what you going to do is what I say. God said, no, you can't even kill yourself. No, just slow up and look around. Smell the coffee, as they say. I never smelled the roses. I always was rushing. God said, hey, take 5. You know, he can make you take 5. I was going to the hospital to get open heart surgery. I had an ex-wife who wanted to buy a dress. For what? To look good at my funeral? Sick. I said, look, give me 5 days. I don't want to get married. I know, but you said you was going to. I know I said it, but can't you wait just so this operation's over? I've been married a whole heap of times. And there is a law in this country, if you get married, you're going to have to bail.
One way or the other.
And I understand. I'm civilized enough to go, hey. So why do they have to have these lawyers? Lawyers and judges get together. It's over. I know you ladies and gentlemen out there laughing. You probably will never break up or get close to it. God bless you. I hope that's right. But listen to the rest of us. I had a wife, she wrote a book about me. But in my selfness, I said, yeah, no, she don't mean none of that. She loves me. Because I love her. And we got back together. Right? The first 3 days, it was great. And we had fun. On the 4th day, the bitch became Kathy Bates. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mitzi.
I see trees of green and red roses too. I see them blue for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. There was Polly and Tim, Jimmy Walker too, Pop Saget to Maya and Yakov. I see skies of red and skies of blue. That's when we really say we love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They're like much more than I ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what